I said it a few times and I'll say it again. Rapid intensification in the Philippines needs to be studied. The Philippine Sea effect. We now have severe tropical storm Paolo, and I don't like the hype, okay? But this is likely going to be a typhoon at landfall. None of the agencies are forecasting it, but this is wrapping up tightly. Let me explain. I mean, look at the satellite image right now. Even if it's not a typhoon at landfall, this is going to be on par with some of the conditions you've seen with Opong as it moved across Visayas. A lot of people were caught off guard, especially around the Masbate area. I think Casiguran, parts of southern Isabela are all going to be seeing that. The only saving grace they have compared to further towards the south is the Sierra Madre Mountains. Those tend to break these storm apart and really squeeze out a lot of that moisture. But the Cagayan River, it's going to be looking at some heavy rainfall piling up in there. I know 2 spillways are open at the Magat Dam already at this time, trying to prelude the heavy rainfall increase. But look at the microwave imagery. Look at the low-level center here. You're starting to see an eye wall trying to develop around it. This is peering through those upper level clouds. You see right in there in the last few frames, we're getting that low level center. And if we go back to the Google DeepMind, this model has been nailing it over the last few weeks. It is changing the game in the forecasting business. It says a Cat 1 at landfall. I still stand by this, even when the other larger global models, ECMWF and GFS, were going for a kind of tropical storm. This kept on going for that Cat 1, picking up on that rapid intensification, and it even picks up on that little bit of weakening as it passes over the Sierra Madre Mountains and over the Cordillera Mountains, but still maintaining, severe tropical storm status, passing just north of Baguio, heading down towards La Union, where some heavy rainfall is going to be in the forecast here. Now, do have to give credit to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. They do expect it at about 60 knots at landfall. 64 would be a full-on typhoon. So they're saying that this is going to be, if not a typhoon, borderline as it comes on shore. Biggest issue with it, though, of course, the coastal communities, some of the most typhoon, tropical, hurricane, whatever you want to call it, prone areas on Earth are along the east coast of Luzon. That's why not a lot of people live there, plus the mountains. But one of the biggest issues is not just going to be the impacts there with winds. Storm surge is never really a big issue. Yes, there is a surge along the immediate coast, but it's going to be the rainfall. I mean, yeah, some of these areas, 1 to 200 millimeters stretching across, including around the Magat Dam, where they already are doing 2 spillways, but also into the higher elevations across the mountains here. Now, good news and one big saving grace with this storm system, and it sounds counterintuitive to what we're getting at here as far as wind speeds increasing, is that its forward momentum is continuing to move at a decent pace. In fact, looking at the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, it's moving towards the west at 15 knots. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. It doesn't sound like it's going forward, but 15 knots for a tropical system, typhoon, hurricane, cyclone, what have you, is a decent forward momentum. So that means by Friday morning this makes landfall, and by Friday evening it starts to exit the west coast of Luzon, and then this becomes more of China's problem as it heads off into that direction. I'm going to have a longer update here in a few hours, but this is recording this at 3 a.m. in the Philippines, so I'm going to have a sunrise update here in just a bit as this nears that landfall. But I just want to stress, it is going through that intensification period. And if you are up in the middle of the night, maybe you're out here in the Cagayan Valley and you're going, starting to rain. I mean, we got a good rain band coming through. Yeah, the core of it still offshore and still gathering energy from those warm waters out here over the Philippine Sea. I'm meteorologist Robert Spett, always doing my best to not hype, being transparent with what I see, and giving you the latest information on what's happening here in the Western Pacific, and specifically here now with severe tropical storm Matmo, according to the Japan Meteorological Agency, also known as Paolo, here in the Philippines.